how's it going, folks? Well, the last video we got put up, we were cleaning out the all the debris from behind the barn over here where Hurricane Helene knocked down that section of barn. And Josh was up here today and finally got the rest of that taken care of. And, you know, we've got a bunch of hay that needs to be mowed, but it has constantly rained for what seems like the last month. And we finally have us a window coming up in about 4 or 5 days where it's looking like it might be clear enough to do it. And once again, we've ran into issues. So Josh said whenever he pulled the tractor right through the gate over here, that the clutch pedal just went straight to the wall, and we broke the clutch cable in here. So that's what we're going to try and get pulled out of here. So in case you run into this same issue, you've got a couple Phillips head screws. There's 2 here, 1 right up underneath here, and 1 here, and this little side panel comes off. I had an end here somewhere, so this little weird piece here was threaded up into this little block right here, and luckily for us it was just kind of broken right there. The cable normally comes out of this end of it here. We just threaded that the rest of the way out, but now we can't get this cable out of this little holder here. There is a little C-clip, looks like this here, that you kind of pop off the top of that kind of retains the cable in that little groove. So we came down here, pulled this little access panel off, and you've got some different looking stuff down here, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to get this fitting off of the arm that comes off the side of the transmission here. You can kind of see it right there at the tip of my finger. That little lever right there is what moves your clutch and lets it engage and disengage, and then this little linkage connects the cable to that little arm. But I finally figured out how to get that off. It's got a fitting just like this one screwed into the back of it, and so that's where we are now. We're trying to get, there's a nut here and a spring and some other junk that's got to come off of there before we can get this cable out. Sounds like it's going to be a couple of days before we can get us a cable. So we're going to try and go ahead and get it pulled out of there so that when the cable does get here, we can get it thrown in and hopefully get it put in before clear weather is here. But as you can tell right here where I'm standing, it's not dry enough to be mowing hay, so we've got some time to kill. So we're going to get this done. We also have got all the wood that Josh picked up today that was left back behind the barn. So he's got it loaded on a trailer. We're going to get that hauled over to the dump. And we got to get the little tractor over here with the bush hog hauled down to town to do some bush hogging at the corn maze so we can start mowing it with a finish mower, because we open in less than a month, which is terrifying. Also, another terrifying piece of news, today was the first day of school. So, with all the positivity, we're going to take into this thing and see if we can't get this cable out of here.
You take that end nut off and it looks like that spring will come off.
Yeah, and it's not under a lot of tension, so that's nice. I was afraid I was going to loosen that nut and it shoot it through the window.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I don't think that piece even comes out of there.
You know?
I don't think so. I think that stays there and you just pull the cable out from it. Because it's just going up into a hole in the floor here. There's no, let me see if I can't pull it out a little. Can you see it right there? It's like a shielded, like a brake cable on a 4-wheeler.
You just pull that out and
then
the new cable.
Slide the new cable from one direction. I don't know what direction that would be. Well, how in the world would it fit through that right there, though?
Yeah. Because that piece that we took off up there, it was broke.
So it's kind of hard to see, but if you look in the top right corner of that hole, you can kind of see like a circular shaped thing with a black hose coming out of it. So right around that is another one of these C-clips. It's got an end on it just like this up here. The problem is getting your hand back in here to take that little C-clip off of there. I can't figure out a way to do it. You can get your finger back in there and touch it, but as far as getting a tool back in there to pry the clip off, I don't know. Okay, well, we did get that thing off there. We ended up taking this panel off the front right here, and we could see up through there just a little bit better. But what ended up working is taking a big long flathead screwdriver from up here, and one person looking at it from down here, you can't see in there, but there is a way to be able to see that little clip if you look up underneath the cab. Then while I was looking, I'd get the screwdriver positioned right, then Josh would pop on it and it popped out of there. So that's one crisis averted, but now we got to figure out how to get the stinking cable out now that those clips are off. So we're not done here, but we've at least made some tiny bits of progress. After some fighting, we did get this to come out of here. The way it comes out of this little clip is it just comes straight down, and I had to get enough wiggle room from down here to be able to get some slack in the middle to kind of bend it and get it to move. So I'm going to keep pushing and pulling and see what happens here. It looks like we might just get this thing out. So I'm going to set this camera up right here and we'll see if we can't get this thing out of here. Aha! So now that this is out, you can kind of see what we were dealing with. This little groove that's in that fitting right there, it's where those little clips that I was showing you, they kind of go around a little bracket and hold it in there. But right there's our broken cable. So we'll get this $125 2-foot piece of cable from John Deere in a couple of days, and this thing will be ready to go. So this is project 1 of the afternoon complete. Now we'll move on to the next thing and try to not stay here too awful late. It's already 6 o'clock. We might not get too awful much done. It's the first day of school and I'm kind of over the day already. Well, we got all of the debris from where the barn fell down completely gone now. So what that means now is we can get back there and start outlining how our working lot's going to go. And I've got it fine-tuned on paper now. And what is that? Turkeys. Turkeys in the hayfield. Big gobblers too. 4 of them. But I've got that fine-tuned on paper now. Now I just need to get it drawn out on the ground with some paint and some wire and a mason string, and we can start getting that taken care of, posts in the ground and everything put up. So probably about, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks away from getting that started. But today's events are going to be over. I'm not going to be able to take the tractor back to town with me. There was a giant snapping turtle in this mud puddle back here the other evening. I was going to show it to you, but I don't see it. It's already 6:30, and I got to stop and pick up stuff for dinner and get stuff ready for a school day tomorrow. Just don't have the time this evening to get the tractor loaded and dropped off and trailer unhooked and left and then back to get dinner. It's just not going to work. Yet another glorious piece of farming on the side, and it's just that time is the key factor in all of it, and it just doesn't always work out. So tomorrow I'm gonna go meet a fella about cutting some hay. It's about 30 minutes away though, is the problem, and I've got hay that's 30 seconds away that I can't even get cut. But we're gonna go look at it anyways. And got a meeting after school, then I'm gonna meet him, then I'm gonna come up here and get the tractor tomorrow. So I'll bring you all with me tomorrow evening. Maybe we can finally get that thing taken down to the house. If you've been watching for any length of time, you'll know that I do normally cut the hay down, cut the hay down at the corn maze. I cut our parking lot and our little activity field. I mow that for hay, but where it's been so wet, we didn't get to mow first cutting until it was way late. I think maybe like July 7th or something like that. So since we didn't get to cut first cutting until so late, that's pushing second cutting back. And you all know how grass is. If you want grass to be green, you need to be mowing it with a finish mower. And if you go in and bush hog it, it looks kind of junky for a little while. And we don't want to give it another 2 weeks and then still not be able to mow it with the disc mower and have to bush hog it, and then it look junky when people are going to be coming to the corn maze. So we're going to go ahead and bush hog it now. It's a field of real good grass, and it's real sad to have to do it, but we're just going to have to go ahead and bush hog it, and then we can start mowing it with just regular lawn mowers, so it'll be short and pretty for people to park on and walk on and that kind of thing. So that's going to be about 40-50 rolls of hay that we're not going to get. So that is unfortunate, but that's just the way the weather has worked this summer. Josh and I were just talking in the truck on the way to the dump that we don't know what the wettest summer in history is, but I feel like this has got to be close to the top. I mean, it has rained constantly. I know I listened to a podcast called Talk Dirt to Me, and it's a farming podcast with two guys. One of them's a YouTube farmer. He's got stuff on here that's Hurricane Creek Farms, and the other one, his name's Logan. He used to do some stuff on YouTube. Now he doesn't anymore, I don't think, but whatever. They live in western Tennessee over around Memphis, and they've been talking about how they're in a drought, and we are in the complete opposite. I mean, if you look at this road, it's pretty much solid water from right here pretty much into the bridge over there. I mean, it's just, there's water standing absolutely everywhere. And I mean, people haven't been able to mow their yards for like a month, and it's just, everything has just grown like crazy and grown and grown and grown because it's too wet to get any lawnmowers anywhere. So You just got to roll with the punches sometimes. That is part of the hands you're dealt. If you're going to farm, the weather pretty much decides everything for you. So anyways, I'll stop rambling, go ahead and hit the throttle and get back to town and go see the little one and the wife and get them something to eat. And I'll be back with you tomorrow.